Alright, here we go again. So, in this video, we are going to exercise EBS volume. So, we're going to create an EBS volume. As you can see, there are volume types for EBS volume. We have GP2, GP3, IO1, IO2, called SSHDD, and throughput optimized. So, these are the volume types. This is the old one, this is the new one, this is the IO provisioned, provisioned IOPS, and this one is a better version of this. And this one is a cheap one, and this one is a throughput optimized for, I believe this is for, let's see, is there any use case? But I believe this is for data, some machine learning, something like that. So here we're going to select this one here, GP3. This one has max of 16 gigabyte. How about GP2? This is only, still 16, 1 gigabyte. Minimum is 1 gigabyte, max is 16 gigabyte. This is the size. GP3 is 1 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte, still the same. But for IOPS, GP3 is 16. Minimum is 3000 IOPS, max is 16,000 IOPS. But for GP2, um, 3 IOPS and what's this? Burstable 3000 IOPS. Minimum is 3000 IOPS. This one here is, what is the minimum? 100 IOPS. Burstable 3000. Burstable to 3000 IOPS. Okay, so this one is a bigger one. GP2 IOPS is 1500 or 3000. GP3 is starting with 3000. Okay, so which one is free tier? So encryption, encrypt this volume. How about GP2 encryption? Yeah, it's not encrypted by default. How about the IOPS, IO, provision IO? So yeah, those are not encrypted by default. Don't create volume for a snapshot. But this one, don't create, yeah, from a snapshot. Don't create volume from a snapshot. Okay, we're going to create this EBS volume. Okay, and we are creating this in North Virginia. Create a volume. Then we're going to go to instances. We're going to create an instance. Um, Name of the instance is lard EC2. We're going to use this one here, the Linux, Amazon Linux AWS. We're going to use this free tier. We're going to use t2.micro. Um, Not recommended. Vlad key pair. Security group. Select an existing security group. No, we don't have an existing security group. This will allow SSH traffic from anywhere. Allow HTTPS traffic from the internet. Allow HTTP traffic from the internet. Rule with source. To set up an endpoint for example, when creating a web server. To set up an endpoint, for example, okay. Okay, so add a volume. Free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 gigabyte of EBS general purpose SSD or magnetic storage. Add a volume. Remove a volume. GP3 not encrypted. I want to attach the one that we just created. Um, how do we do that? So it will create remove, add, not encrypted. There's a root volume. Okay. Okay, so let's create one. Okay, so we created an EC2. Go back to the instances. So this one is pending. How do we attach this volume to a running EC2? Attach volume. Instance is, yeah, I believe this is still spinning. Let's wait for this to complete. Oh, it's already running. Name is Vlad EC2. Let's go back to our volumes. And so this is the one that we created. And this was the one that was created via the EC2. Yeah, along with creating the EC2. So we're going to attach the volume, attach it to instance ID or tag name Vlad. Why is there no Vlad? Okay, let's get our instance ID. So this is the instance ID. We go to our volume, attach volume. Oh, why? Why can't I add it there? This is US East 1, right? Okay, the instance must be in the same availability zone as the volume. Okay, so what is the availability zone of this? Um, how do we know which availability zone this one is running? Availability zone. To read it simple. How to know the availability zone of my EC2 instance? To determine the availability zone of your EC2 instance, you can use the AWS Management Console. Go to EC2 Dashboard Instances, find EC2 instance in the list. The availability zone is listed in the availability zone column. Alright, so let's go to the instances availability zone. Yeah, US East 1D. So go to the volume. What is the availability zone of this? US. Okay, so can we change? How can we change this? Modify. Okay, so how to change the availability zone of my EBS volume? Changing the availability zone of an EBS volume is not a straightforward task. EBS volumes are inherently tied to the availability zone of the EC2 instance to which they are attached. However, you can achieve a similar outcome by creating a new EBS volume in the desired availability zone and then creating the data from the existing. Okay, so let's delete this then. Delete volume. Okay, then we're going to create a new volume, GP3. Availability zone is US East 1A. And our instance is in US East 1D. So we're going to change this to US East 1D. And then we're going to create our volume. And then we're going to refresh and then select this and then attach volume, attach it to the running instance device. What is the device? What is this? recommended for data volume, Linux, like that. Okay, so now it is attached. Okay, so that is how to attach a volume to a running EC2. So one instance can have multiple volume, but one volume cannot have multiple instance, right? No, one instance can have can can an EBS volume have multiple instances attached to it? No, an EBS volume cannot be attached to multiple EC2 instances simultaneously. EBS volumes are designed to be attached to a single EC2 instance at a time. This limitation is by design and is due to the nature of how block storage works. When you attach an EBS volume to an EC2 instance, it becomes available as a block device, such as dev/xvdf on that specific instance. The operating system of the instance then manages the file system and data on that volume. If you're attached to the same EBS volume to another instance simultaneously, it would create conflict and would lead to data corruption or other issues. Alright, so that's it. Thank you. And we're going to delete. Can we delete this while it's still being attached? Okay, force detach and then detach, force detach. So once that is detached, can we delete? Okay, we can delete the volume, and then we will then delete the instance that we created. So instance tape, stop the instance, then terminate instance. Okay, so when we terminate that, it's shutting down, and it will create delete also the EBS volume that it has created during the creation of the instance. Shoop, 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 shoop. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks, Barbara.